4, 1.
Welcome, everybody, and welcome to another inspirational moment from the Happy Life today. I want to talk to you today about some interesting little pieces of information that I found, and then some tools and tricks to be able to use to help you get over these little hurdles that they create. One of the things that I was just made aware of is that according to scientists, we have up to 80,000 thoughts a day. Think of that. 80,000 different thoughts a day running through our head. And the interesting thing about those 80,000 thoughts is that they are almost all inclined to be negative. Think about that. 80,000 thoughts. Say even 50% of those thoughts are negative, and that's 40,000 negative thoughts every day running through your head. And the even more interesting thing about that is that those thoughts are the same thoughts you had the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. They're just running through your head like a little broken record player or CD or streaming now. They're just running around streaming through your head over and over and over. The same negative thoughts are just bearing down on you day after day after day. But the good news is there are some ways to get over these negative thoughts. And I'm going to share with you today something that I think will be really cool for you to understand. Now, most of us know, and psychologists know, that there are different types of personalities out there, and we all exist within sort of a spectrum of those different types of personalities. Some of us are sort of the record keepers, right? We're always making lists, and we're trying to determine things, and we're writing them down on lists, or we're doing shorthand, and we have this big list of things that we need to do, and we even keep them down on paper, but a lot of times we're keeping them right up here in our head. But often they're sitting there on paper, and we're putting them together, and we're making sure we're observing those lists, and we're looking at them. But the thing is, those little lists that you're putting down on paper aren't just staying on the paper. They're staying up here in your head as well. And then there's the other types of people that I like to kind of call the I'm not sure people, which I kind of fall into that category, right? I'm always weighing the pros and cons of everything. I'm always thinking, oh, wow, what could happen about this? What could happen about that? What could be good about it? What could be bad about it? But unfortunately, those negative thoughts seem to override all of the positive ones more often than I would really like. And maybe for a lot of you, that is the same situation. We get these ideas in our head, something that we'd love to do or be able to try, and then the negative thoughts get in there. The what ifs start to appear. Wow, what if I ask that person out on a date and they say no? What if I try to write my novel and nobody likes it? What if I apply for that job and I don't get it? What if I get a new puppy and I don't know how to train it? What if I buy a new car and then I change my mind afterwards? There's all of these what ifs. What if I start a new diet routine and then it doesn't work for me? There's all of these little what ifs and the negativities that drop in on us all the time. And that's because we have what we call, and scientists call, a negativity bias. And they relate this back to our primitive ancestors that really kind of needed a negativity bias. They didn't understand everything that was going on around them. And besides, they're out in the wild where things actually eat them. So they have to be afraid of things. They have to be on alert. They have to look for those negativity things and say, how do I assess this situation? Could something bad happen to me? Could I get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger? Even though we didn't exist at the same time. But we won't get into, all of that stuff. But you can see where that's heading. We have this bias within us that seems to be a genetic component. And in today's modern world, we're not really being chased by, wild animals that are out there trying to get us. But we still have those negativity biases that are trying to keep us safe. So I have an idea for the next time you start getting those thoughts that just kind of keep running through your head over and over and over. And you're not really sure, how do I get rid of these things? Or how can I look at this a little bit differently and reframe it so that I'm not just thinking of whatever this issue or problem is or thing I want to do creates negative thoughts in me. How can I get rid of those? Well, here's what I would like you to do the next time. And you'll really find this interesting, especially for those of you who have maybe been in business and you probably even worked at companies or even had jobs or even done it yourself. You take a little scrap of paper and you write down on that scrap of paper what your problem is, and then you write 2 columns, right? Pros and cons. And you make a little list. And you say, here's all the good things that could happen in the pro side, and here's all the bad things that could happen on the con side of that list. Well, what I would like you to try the next time you have these negative thoughts running through you is make that list, write down your little issue, but instead, on the con side, put none. That's right. I want you to put none for all of the potential problems that could materialize. I want you to put none. And I want you to just write down all of the positive things that could come about by your decision. But that could come about by making that decision to go ask that person out on a date. That could come about by that decision by applying for that job. That could come about by that decision by starting your own business. All the positive things, all the pro things that could come out from making that decision. Dispense with the con side for once. Put it away. Your mind is already trying to do that. Stop it. Go ahead and put down these pro things and take a look at it and then see if that changes your perspective of it. Because I am almost positive that it will. So give that a try next time you're faced with something and you find yourself running through those thoughts over and over and over like they're just streaming in your head like Netflix. And see if that doesn't make a difference from you. Thanks, and have a happy life today.